Hello everyone and welcome to the Unreal Engine 5 and WWise video tutorial series. In previous video we installed and set WWise project to Unreal and we will continue implementing events on this one. We will implement basic event activities by blueprint and CPP individually to feed both practices of development. The character in game has couple animations that indicating ice skill casting, and I hope my quick sound design suits well for this purpose. Let's jump into the design part and follow the implementation next. I found two audio files for icy effects. One is continuous blizzard sound and another one for extra layer of crystal icy parts. I want both of them play along and loose while we casting the skill. You can follow how I made this in video. This is very straightforward implementation also. We add two sound effects, loop them, decide where to start looping and end, then put both of them into a single event and generate this sound bank with it.
Several times, and they really have an incredible frequency. These recordings is the resonance within
When we return the Unreal project, we could see WWise and VA API Picker. It is up to you which one to use. VA API directly connected to WWise project if it opens. You can think that as a local connection between two development medium. And WWise Picker is just offline picker that focuses on generated sounds. To activate VA API, you should go to Project Settings, WWise, Integration, and you can see the checkbox. Also, I recommend you to use event-driven package of WWise. After these adaptations, we can start posting events. My character starts the animation when I click the button, so in that blueprint I am posting an event there. And you can see that it doesn't working. It might happen time to time. To be sure what's wrong, you can start it by checking if that event actually generated. If it doesn't play in content browser, you should generate the sound data. Fortunately, that was the problem and it seems like playing. It's good, but it doesn't stop when I stop the skill animation. Obviously, we didn't implement stop function of the event. It requires some extra steps like knowing which event to stop. In documentation, posting event returns an ID of playing event, so that ID is required to stop it. Now, instead of posting event, we create an AK object and post attached event. By that, we can reach the ID of this event and call a stop function on it. Creating AK component each time causes some problems. You can see an error down there. Instead of creating an execution, we can create that AK object in our blueprint. Then we won't need to create it every time. Also, you can delete the AK component when you stopped it. Another way to design this, totally up to you. With that, blueprint implementation of WWise is done, so we can start doing the same or even improved version of this with CPP. Start with creating new actor component for this character. Include the path of necessary header for WWise and add an event for the skill. Also, we will require two functions or pseudo functions to play and stop the event. the tangled part of this event posting starting now. Go to the header and find posting event function and look at what it requires to execute. Also, you can see that function returns 32-bit integer value that we use as event ID. I won't dive deeply into what that function does behind. I can simply tell it all advanced WWise functions to grab sound engine, executing it, etc. It is rather safe to use this one because it checks anomalies in the definition of this function. Inside that function, it mostly calls WWise engine directly. You can call the engine directly, but if you don't take it carefully, there's high chance of memory leaking. So better stick with AK gameplay statics. Post event function requires 7 parameters. Last 3 of them are optional, so you don't have to fill these. Functions parameters are also self-explanatory, but in order it requires event, actor, callback mask, which we go for 0, it is a bit advanced topic. Callback function, we won't use callback function, so we can simply put a null callback. The compiler gave an error because I forgot that CPP file is derived from actor component class, not the actor class. So instead of putting actor pointer in the function, I put actor component pointer and it caused the error. I put the error in video to show you might also confront something like that if you're battling with CPP inside Unreal Engine 5. So simply change second parameter of the function to getOwner, so it will return the owning actor. Compiling worked, so we can call this function inside character blueprint and execute the code we wrote. Yet it worked, but we don't have stop function again. Hop back the code and remember we need the ID of the event that returns from post event function. So our event ID variable holds the integer value of this event posting, and we use this playing ID to stop it. AK gameplay static, it doesn't have a function named stop event. It has execute action on playing ID. It has more than stop in it, but we will use only stop action at this one. Grab the function and paste it inside the stop function. Change the parameters of the function with what we needed. Last 2 parameters are optional, but transition duration 1 has a good effect on stopping the event. So to make this a bit smoother, give it a couple milliseconds to fade out. Playing ID is the event ID and the action type is stop.
This recording was made with microphones built by WWise from Offshore Acoustics. These are incredible microphones that were built in the late 90s. And they've been refurbished several times, and they really have an incredible frequency response, and they have a range of 6 miles around the boat. So everything that you hear on these recordings is a resonance within a 6-mile radius from the place where I was recording in Venturas Bay, Mexico that night.
After compiling the code, add stop event in character blueprint and try it. Alright, it seems like working. At this episode we worked on events, posting and stopping them, and doing these in Blueprint and C++. If you have any problem at implementing any of these, you can comment or reach me. I would like to help you on this one. You can find the links in the description, my website, and GitHub link of the project. Thanks for joining me and have a good day.